What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Jacob here at the Nutrition Store, and it is time for TNS Takedowns. Today I was sent a video by a medical doctor who is making a claim that all animal-based proteins are very, very bad for you, and saying that, a plant-based diet is so much better. Let's just jump in, see what we can take from it.
When you actually look at the way our digestive systems are constructed, we have the anatomy and the physiology of a strict plant eater or herbivore.
Okay, so interesting statement. What about the umami taste buds on the back of your tongue that are specifically there to detect animal-based protein tastes? What about the proteases and all the enzymatic processes in the larger portion of the stomach that help break down animal protein sources? It's almost like they're there for some function or reason.
Where do you get your protein? It's an insane question because all protein is originally made by plants. Any protein you get from an animal source is actually recycled protein.
When you consume any protein source, whether you're a cow eating, leaves in a pasture or you're eating the cow on your burger, you are digesting and breaking down the individual amino acids and reprocessing them into a functional form for your body. It's not recycling, it's really resynthesizing new proteins. So with that same logic, stop breathing, because that's recycled air. Stop drinking water. It's probably recycled from some form or way.
And it's much healthier to actually get your protein from the plant sources, because it turns out that plant proteins have a much better impact on our health.
Okay, where'd you conclude that from? Plant-based proteins have an inferior amino acid profile and a far inferior biological availability or bioavailability, which means your body does not utilize them as efficiently as, say, a milk-based protein or cow or any animal source. Yeah, based on what we're reading here, yes, most people of color, actually 75 to 90% of people of color are lactose intolerant.
The government was intentionally encouraging people of color to eat foods that it knew was going to make them sick, not for health benefit, but because of the lobbying efforts of the dairy industry. It clearly was a case of institutional racism.
Now, while there was a lot of lobbying going on, it was definitely not an intentional act by the government itself. So it really comes down to the origin that we're thinking about here, all right? So let's just take a look at your ancestors 300 years ago. Where were they? It doesn't matter what color you are. This is not a race problem. What was their environment like? Did they have access to large amounts of livestock? Well, most people of color didn't. You didn't have hundreds of cattle and pig, and therefore you weren't consuming the dairy products or the milk from the cow and not developing those enzymes and adaptations to be better at using them. It has nothing to do with government conspiracy.
We can avoid and even reverse a lot of these chronic diseases by changing to a plant-based diet.
Please, which diseases? Which were completely reversed or avoided? You'll notice that he makes a lot of claims here, and he doesn't provide any actual evidence to back them up. He uses, it's what's called an argument from authority. He's a doctor. He's achieved his medical doctor's license. But he uses no sources and no repeatable data. He just says, look, we can reverse these diseases. Just take my word for it. Guys, that's not enough for me, and it shouldn't be enough for you, okay? Not to mention, he clearly doesn't lift or keep up with his personal shape. But that is all for this episode of TNS Takedowns. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.